So the Nintendo Direct this coming Thursday, it's going to be about Mario Kart, and I'm guessing most of you are wondering, what could they possibly announce during this Direct that could justify the price tag? And that is what I am going to try and predict, and see if, hopefully, due to these predictions, it will align with what could possibly justify the price tag. I think the first and most obvious thing that couldn't get announced here is that there is a single player campaign attached to this new Mario Kart. I mean, we already know that the game is open world, and we've seen many various, maybe we haven't, but there is various gameplay clips of people going to these Nintendo experiences and doing very wacky things with a lot of the objects in the world. And I think if you put two and two together, the game has a free roam mode and all these wacky interactions inside the world. I think it becomes pretty obvious that there is a single player campaign. To what extent that's going to look like is curious. I'm not entirely sure if it'll be just like missions in an open world, or it's going to be like a story and there's actually like objectives or collectibles and stuff like that. But I think to justify the price tag, I think that's one of the main things that they were going to announce and show off during this direct. Next, in terms of things that they're going to show that will obviously they'll try to justify the price tag, would be how the online works. We know that you're able to team up with other people in free roam, and there's obviously going to be ranked mode like there has been in all the previous Mario Karts. But I think we're going to actually get a real ranking system. And the reason I say this, even though Mario Kart can be RNG up to a point, this is looking like it's going to be maybe a little less RNG than the previous ones. And since this is the first game that's going to come out for the Switch 2, they are kind of relying on the replayability of the game. So if it's less RNG than the previous Mario Karts, it kind of makes sense for them to add a ranked mode so that people stay hooked for a long period of time, since it's the first game that comes out for the Switch 2 and it's going to be the primary focus for the console for years to come. Now, what that ranked mode is going to look like, I'm not entirely sure. It could be like, different sort of, it could be like a elo system, it could be various other things, but I think it's going to be included, and I think it's going to have standard Grand Prix and probably the new extended format. I don't remember what it's called, to be honest with you. I know you all know what I'm talking about, with the 24 players, and it goes on and on until people get eliminated one by one for each race. So yeah, I think those are what is going to get announced for the online play. I mean, obviously I also think that we're going to get a battle mode, but I'm going to go into more extent with that in just a second here. We're going to get a battle mode here. This is going to probably be very interesting, given that we have the ability to have various amount of people, and I don't know how they're going to execute on it, but it's probably areas of the map with a bunch of other players, and it's going to be very interesting to see what you can do with it, since this is practically a 3D platformer at the same time as being a Mario Kart game. There's a real chance here that they have some sort of BR mode where you get dropped off into some sort of area of the map and people have to eliminate each other, and also going and coinciding with teams and being able to link up with like the game chat feature that was showed off in the Switch 2 presentation. I think we could have like a team sort of mode for the mode, and I think it could be, I think it could also be included in the rank that I previously mentioned. This small little thing that I think is going to get announced is also, I think they're going to allow this game to be shared via the game share function that they showed off in the Switch 2 presentation. It just makes sense. I mean, the game is already pretty dang expensive, and allowing others to just be able to join you for a game that just got released for the Switch that everybody's going to have and everybody's going to want to play, it just makes sense to me. If they don't have it via game share, I'll actually be quite I don't know if I'll be shocked, but I'll be concerned a little bit. And lastly, to really justify this price, I think this is kind of the crux of what I think could happen. If they don't do this, then really they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. But I think that it would make sense for them to add another $20 onto the cost of what this game is if this is them upcharging before charging for DLC. So let's say this is the game that is constantly getting updated through the entire life cycle of the Switch 2. It's the first game that comes out for the Switch and is quite literally the focal point of getting a Switch 2. If they charge an extra amount of money up front, I think people can actually, like, they can justify it in their head because the game is always constantly getting updated, and then they don't have to like pay for microtransactions or anything else. If they confirm something like that, I think they might actually be able to, you know, convince people of wanting to get this game. I have a good feeling that this game is probably going to be really, really phenomenal, but the price tag is actually really horrendous for a lot of people. And I mean, given the situation for most people and how the economy is, it would make it a lot more digestible if the DLC was free and they're just charging up front. Adding on to what I mean by DLC, I also think we're going to get much more maps and probably another continent or two if it ends up being a game that's continually updated over time. We'll get this first continent, and then we're going to get more continents that will add to the elements that are existing in the game. And also, we're obviously going to get 200cc. I mean, let's be real here. So if they do announce that, I think that is probably the thing that would actually justify what the price is. Anyway, though, that's generally what I think is going to be announced for the DLC or the Direct here. There's small little things like Mario Kart TV and exporting gameplay that are probably going to get shown here in the Direct, but I don't really want to go into further extents for it because they're not really major points to consider. But yeah, tell me what you think. Let me know what you think would be announced that could actually justify the price. What do you think of the gameplay that's been shown so far? And tell me whether or not you're going to get the game immediately, or you're going to wait until it obviously drops in price, or you can get it used. So see you later. Also, like and subscribe. I have to ask this because that's just how YouTube works. Bye-bye.